Okay. So once the recording starts, we will begin. Okay. Before we begin for the day, had you got the timetable for your test?
No, sir.
So only the date is announced, right? 20th of November.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I hope I have told you the syllabus. The syllabus for maths would be Unit 1 and Unit 2. So that I think I had already told you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So yesterday we were discussing about functions. So the last thing what we were discussing was the composition of functions. So for composition of functions, we had seen there are two compositions which are possible. One is f composed with g, and another one is g composed with f. So if you want to find f composed with g, okay, if you want to find f composed with g, then what is the important thing? G का कोडोमेन, okay, G का कोडोमेन should be same as F का domain. G का codomain should be same as F का domain. Then only you can find F composed with G. And this is what is the diagrammatical representation for the composition of functions. This was basically the last example which we solved yesterday. So G is a function from Z to R. F is a function from R to Z. Then F composed with G, F composed with G will be a function from Z to Z. This is what we had seen. F composed with G is a function from Z to Z. So you in the diagram you can clearly see कि जो G का कोडोमेन है that is same as F का domain. Okay, G का जो कोडोमेन है that is same as F का domain. So similar to your matrix multiplication, in your matrix multiplication when we want to find A into B, then the condition is number of columns of A should be same as number of rows of B. Identical to that, here we have a condition, अगर F composed with G find करना है, or you can say F composed with G exist होगा, provided G का कोडोमेन is same as F का डोमेन. ठीक है, G का कोडोमेन is same as F का डोमेन. So this is what we have discussed, and we have also discussed some examples related to the composition of functions. Main important thing what we discussed was composition of function is not commutative. Okay, composition is not commutative, but it is associative. Okay, composition is not commutative, but it is associative. What does this mean? This means that F composed with G is not equal to G composed with F. This is the general statement. For a specific case, F composed with G may be same as G composed with F. But as I have told you, okay, whenever we are making a statement, it has to be with a general perception. So F composed with G is different from G composed with F. In particular, they may be same for some function at some value. That is a specific case. And another thing which we discussed was composition of function is associative. That means you take three functions, then F composed with G composed with F will be same as F composed with G composed with H. If you recall, similar thing holds for your matrix multiplication also. Matrix multiplication is not commutative. In general, A into B is not equal to B into A. But matrix multiplication is associative. Okay, matrix multiplication is associative. So similar to that, we have the properties of this composition of functions. Okay. Okay. So today we will start with the example. We have three functions f, g, and h. All three are functions from set of real numbers to itself. Domain is the set of real number. codomain is the set of real number. F of x is defined as 2x cube plus 5. G of x is cos x. H of x is x cube minus 1. Okay, and what we have to find? We have to find that the values of these three things. Composition of three functions in different order at different values. The first thing what we have to find is f composed with g composed with h at 1. This is the first thing which we have to find out. Now, ये कैसा evaluate होगा? This will be evaluated as, see, how is your f composed with g evaluated? F composed with g is f of g of x. Yesterday we had seen, I will just scroll up. See, this is what is the case. F of g of x. So f composed with g at 2 is nothing but f of g of 2. And then we find out what is the value of g of 2. So अपने को 7 मिला, and then we find out f of 7. Similar to that, यहाँ पे जब तीन functions है, so how this will be evaluated? This will be f of g of h of 1. This is how the composition will be evaluated at the initial stage. F composed with g composed with h is f of g of h of 1. Okay, f of g of h of 1. This is how the evaluation will be done. For finding out the values, we will first find out what is h of 1. So अंदर का function पहले evaluate होगा, बाद में बाहर का function evaluate होगा. ठीक है, अंदर का function पहले evaluate होएगा, बाद में बाहर का function evaluate होएगा. It is f of g of h of 1. And what is h of 1? Can you tell? What will be h of 1? H of x is there on the screen. It is x cube minus 1. So what is h of 1?
0.
0. Very good. So we get f of g of 0. Now what will be g of 0? What will be g of 0?
1.
1. Very nice. So now f of 1.
Seven.
7. Very nice. So this is what is the value of f composed with g composed with h. So again I repeat, उसको evaluate करने के लिए it is evaluated as f of g of h of 1. तो सबसे पहले h of 1 फाइंड करेगा, तो h of 1 0 मिला. उसके बाद g of 0 फाइंड करेगा, तो g of 0 is nothing but your cos 0, which is 1, and then f of 1 gives us 7. I hope this is clear. Next is we have to find g composed with h composed with f at 0. तो ये कैसा होगा? It will be g of h of f of 0. Okay, again I repeat, it will be g of h of f of 0. So can you evaluate and tell me the answer for this? G of h of f of 0. So first we will be evaluating f of 0. So f of 0 कितना होगा?
5.
5, very nice. फिर h of 5
124.
h of 5 will be 124. Okay, good. And g of 124 will be cos of 124. Okay, यहाँ पे इसको इवेल्युएट नहीं करेगा हम लोग, इसको इवेल्युएट नहीं करेगा because cos 124 will give us some value which will be not easy to evaluate without having that table. So we will keep it as cos 124. It's fine. Okay. Now the last one. H composed with F composed with G at -1. So what will be this? This will be H of F of G of -1. H of F of G of -1. So can you tell me what will be the value of this? Yes, anyone? Okay, so it is first is h of f of g of -1. G of -1 is cos -1. Okay, it is cos -1. Cos of -1 since cos is in. Okay, I'll continue with this because वो मेरे को next question तुमको पूछना है. So if I tell that thing now, तो finish हो जाएगा. Then उसका मजा नहीं आएगा करके. तो next question मेरे को पूछना है. So cos of -1, keep it as it is. Okay, or what I will do is cos 0 ना. ठीक है, चलो मैं -1 की जगह पे एक दूसरा वैल्यू ले लेता हूँ. Then I think it will be easy to evaluate. Okay, I take it as pi/2 instead of -1. तो थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाएगा क्योंकि cos -1 का वैल्यू हम लोग फाइंड नहीं करते ना. Okay, now can you tell इसका वैल्यू क्या होगा पूरा कंपोजिशन का? Now I think you will be able to answer. Because in this only thing you
120.
have 120. Okay, cos
120.
pi/2 कितना है? How much is cos pi/2?
0.
Okay, h of f of 0. Okay, तो अभी f of 0 कितना हुआ? f of 0 होता है 5. h of phi to 124. Okay, fine. H of phi is 124. Is this clear? Yes. Is the third sum clear? Third sum or fourth sum? Okay, fourth sum. Sorry. Now this is the fifth one. Okay, so what does the fifth one says? It is similar to a result which says f is a function from x to y, g is a function from y to z. If f and g are injective, that means if f and g both are 1 to 1, then we have to prove that g composed with f is 1 to 1. If f and g are onto, then we have to prove that if both functions f and g are onto, then g composed with f is onto. Okay, this is what basically we have to prove in the fifth one. And fifth का third is for your homework. कि अगर दोनों f and g bijective है, तो composition g composed with f will also be bijective. Okay, g composed with f will also be bijective. So these are the three things which we have to prove. उसमें से दो हम लोग क्लास में करेगा, थर्ड वाला तुम लोग होमवर्क करेगा. क्यों होमवर्क करेगा? बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अगर फंक्शन 1 to 1 है और ऑन टू है, दैट इज इंजेक्टिव है एंड सर्जेक्टिव है, तो इट बिकम बाइजेक्टिव एज पर द डेफिनेशन. तो खाली तुम लोग को लिखना है एक प्रॉपर वे में. बाकी तो हम लोग भी कर रहे हैं क्लास में. ए और बी करेगा तो सी तो उसका डायरेक्ट इम्प्लीकेशन ही है. Okay, so again I repeat, f is a function from x to y, g is a function from y to z. First thing we want to prove is if f and g are injective, that means if f and g are 1 to 1, then g composed with f is 1 to 1. F and g are onto, then g composed with f is onto. Onto subjective is one and the same thing. Injective 1 to 1 is one and the same thing. Okay, so first we have f to be a function from x to y. G is a function from y to z. Okay, f is a function from x to y. G is a function from y to z. So G composed with f. What would be the domain and codomain for G composed with f? Tell me. G composed with f का डोमेन और कोडोमेन क्या होगा?
X.
Yes. What is the domain of G composed with f?
Z.
Domain.
Y.
Why? So you mean to say G composed with f will be a function from y to z?
X.
X, okay, x to z. G composed with f will be a function from x to z. So G composed with f is a function from x to z. So G composed with f of x, we can write it as G of f of x, which we can write it as z. This is the notation purpose के लिए लिख रहा हूँ, जहाँ पे मेरा x will be an element of capital X, z will be an element of capital Z, right? Okay, ये मेरा notation purpose हो गया and understanding purpose के लिए हो गया. अभी first क्या प्रूव करना है अपने को? f and g are 1 to 1. Then g composed with f is 1 to 1. ठीक है, f and g are 1 to 1. Then g composed with f is 1 to 1. This is what we have to prove. अभी g composed with f 1 to 1 है, that means क्या प्रूव करना है? That is g composed with f of x1 equals to g composed with f of x2 would imply x1 is equals to x2, where x1 and x2 they are elements of capital X. ये अपने को प्रूव करना है. G composed with f of x1 equals to g composed with f of x2. Then we have to prove that x1 is equals to x2, where x1 and x2 are elements of capital X. करेक्ट? वो हम लोग जो प्रूव करते हैं ना कि f of x equals to f of y implies x is equal to y 1 to 1 के लिए सेम थिंग. f के बदले यहाँ पे कंपोजिशन है और x y के बदले x1 x2 लिया. दैट्स इट. ये खाली नोटेशन का डिफरेंस है, बाकी सब सेम ही है. ओके, so g composed with f of x1 equals to g composed with f of x2 should imply x1 is equal to x2. So this is what will be the starting point. A g composed with f of x1 is equals to g composed with f of x2. ये अपना starting point है. This is what is given. Now इसको simplify करना है. So this will be what? g of f of x1, g of f of x2, right? ये कैसे मिला? ये अपने को कंपोजिशन का डेफिनेशन यूज करके मिला. ओके, ये कंपोजिशन का डेफिनेशन यूज करके मिला. ठीक है. now what we will get f of x1 is equals to f of x2. What is the reason? As g is 1 to 1. Okay, as g is 1 to 1. Okay, I'll write it as g ठीक है. Okay, so I get f of x1 equals to f of x2. ये अपने को मिला by using the fact that g is 1 to 1. Now we will use the fact that f is 1 to 1. ये दोनों चीज तो दिया हुआ है क्वेश्चन में कि g भी 1 to 1 है, f भी 1 to 1 है. तो f 1 to 1 है तो f of x1 equals to f of x2 will imply x1 is equal to x2. So what was the starting point? Starting point was g composed with f of x1 is equal to g composed with f of x2. मिला क्या अपने को x1 is equal to x2. So this means that G composed with F is 1 to 1. ठीक है, G composed with F is 1 to 1. Is this part clear? This much is clear? Okay. Next, we have to prove that F and G are onto. When G composed with F is onto. F and G are onto. When G composed with F is onto. This is what we have to prove. What do you mean by onto? Onto means range of the function should be same as the codomain. That means every element in the codomain should have a pre-image under that function. That is what we want to prove, right? For onto के लिए every element in the codomain should have a pre-image. So now, what is the domain and codomain for the composition? What is the domain and codomain for the composition? Domain is X, codomain is Z. So what we have to prove? We have to prove that for every Z belonging to capital Z, there exists X in capital X such that Z is equals to G composed with F of X. Okay, that is what we have to prove. This is what basically is your onto ka definition. Every element in the codomain should have a pre-image. That means for every Z belonging to capital Z, there should exist X belonging to capital X such that Z is equals to G composed with F of X. ये अपने को प्रूव करना है. ये अपने को प्रूव करना है. Right? So, or what is given? What is given is F is onto and G is onto. F is onto and G is onto. This is what is given. So first we will use the fact that G is onto. So G is a function from Y to Z. G is a function from Y to Z and it is given as onto. Okay, G from Y to Z is onto. That means for every Z in Z, for every Z in Z, there exists Y in capital Y. For every Z in Z, there exists Y in capital Y, such that Z can be written as G of Y. Okay, G from Y to Z is onto. So using the definition, what we get, for every Z in Z, we can find Y in capital Y, such that Z is equal to G of Y. Okay. Then we use the fact that F from X to Y is onto. F from X to Y is onto. What does this say means? For every Y in capital Y, there exists X in capital X, such that Y is equals to F of X. Again I repeat. What happened? एक सेकंड ना. Okay, so first we have used the fact that G is onto, G from Y to Z is onto. So for every element of capital Z, there is some Y in capital Y, such that Z can be written as G of Y. Okay, Z can be written as G of Y. Then we are using the fact that F is onto. F is onto. So using the definition of onto, for every Y belonging to capital Y, for every Y belonging to capital Y, there exists Z belonging to capital Z, such that, sorry, for every Y belonging to capital Y, there exists X belonging to capital X, such that Y is equals to F of X. Till this the things are clear. हम लोग ने क्या किया, हम लोग ने खाली G और Y onto है, उसका डेफिनेशन यूज किया है. खाली G of Y onto है, उसका डेफिनेशन यूज किया है खाली. Now what we will do, if we combine the two, now if we combine the two, okay, so now if we combine the two, what we have, Z is equals to G of Y and Y is equals to F of X. Okay, Z is equals to G of Y and Y is equal to F of X. So Z equals to G of Y, but what is Y? Y is nothing but F of X. Okay, Y is nothing but F of X. So we can write our Z as G of F of X, and this G of F of X is nothing but decomposed with F of X So what we have for every Z in capital Z, there exists X in capital X. Okay, there exists X in capital X such that Z can be written as decomposed with F of X. So this implies that G composed with F is onto. Because G composed with F का domain क्या है? G composed with F का domain is capital X and codomain is Z. So we have got that for every element in the codomain, there exists an element in the domain such that Z is equals to G composed with F of X. So this gives us the function is onto. So 1 to 1 हो गया, onto हो गया. Now you have to just prove it is bijective. वो homework के लिए क्यों दिया है? So that you just write it down. Okay, it is 1 to 1, it is onto, so it is bijective. Nothing more to prove in that basically. ठीक है, nothing more to prove that, क्योंकि 1 to 1 प्रूव किया, onto प्रूव किया. बाइजेक्टिव के लिए तो वही चाहिए ना, 1 to 1 चाहिए एंड onto चाहिए. करेक्ट. So is this clear? It is like 50% भी अगर क्लियर है तो you are on the right track. क्योंकि ये पहला प्रूफ है कंपोजिशन का, तो पूरा 100% तो नहीं जाएगा एक टाइम में. To go through it again today, tomorrow, and then if you have any doubt you can ask. ठीक है.
Okay, sir.
Because today I will be uploading this PDF in the Teams, so you can refer this आराम से. Next is about the characteristic function. This is a specific type of a function. How it is defined? We have capital A to be a subset of the universal set. Okay, capital A is the subset of the universal set. The characteristic function of capital A is denoted by F suffix A, Fa operated on X. Okay, Fa operated on X. How it is defined? The characteristic function of A is basically a function from capital A to the set 0, 1. That means its domain will be capital A, codomain will be 0, 1. Okay, F(A)(x), that is characteristic function of A, is defined from set A to the set 0, 1. So domain is the set capital A, codomain is the set 0, 1. And how it is defined? Characteristic function of A is 1 if X belongs to the set and is 0 if X does not belong to the set. Okay, again I repeat, characteristic function of A will be 1 if X belongs to the set and will be 0 if X does not belong to the set. Okay, this is how it is defined. That means इसका जो कोडोमेन है उसमें खाली दो ही एलिमेंट्स होगा, 0 and 1. डोमेन में कोई भी एलिमेंट हो सकता है, कितना भी एलिमेंट्स हो सकता है, बट कोडोमेन में खाली दो ही एलिमेंट है, 0 and 1. How the function is defined? It is defined as 1 if X belongs to A and it is defined as 0 if X does not belongs to A. Okay. So for example, we take U to be the universal set containing 1, 2, 3, 4. A is the set containing 1 and 4. characteristic function of A at 1. 1 is an element of capital A, तो उसका characteristic function का value will be 1. 2 is not a element of capital A, तो उसका value will be 0. 3 is not an element of capital A, तो उसका characteristic function again will be 0. 2 and 3 are in the universal set, but they are not in capital A. So characteristic function of A at 2 will be 0. At 3 will also be 0 because 2 and 3 are not elements of capital A. 1 is an element of capital A, so characteristic function of A at 1 will be 1. Characteristic function of A at 4 will also be 1 because 4 is also an element of capital A. Right? This characteristic function is clear. How it is defined? It will be 1 if the element belongs to the set. It will be 0 if the element does not belong to the set. Okay? Okay, and the important thing, the way in which the function is defined, you can easily check if function is not one-to-one and function is it is not one-to-one, but the function is onto. Why it is not one-to-one? You have the answer in front of you. Characteristic function of A at 2 is 0. At 3 is 0, but 2 and 3 are different elements. Right? 2 and 3 are different elements. Take a minute. I will change the domain from A to U. Take a minute. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन का डोमेन आई चेंज इट टू यू बिकॉज अगर वो एलिमेंट ए में है ही नहीं, डोमेन में ही नहीं है, तो फिर उसका इमेज फाइंड करके कुछ पॉइंट नहीं बनता है. Okay, right? So it is not one to one, but it is on to. Why it is on to? Because the range of the function is same as the codomain. Codomain में अपने पास दो ही एलिमेंट है, 0 and 1, और दोनों का प्री इमेज एग्जिस्ट हो रहा है. You can see in the example also, दोनों का प्री इमेज एग्जिस्ट हो रहा है. So function is not one to one, but it is on to. Okay, function is not one to one, but it is on to. Okay, then there are some results related to your characteristic function. Characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. Okay, characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. Characteristic function of A intersection B is the product of the characteristic function. Characteristic function of A union B. Characteristic function of A union B is characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus the characteristic function of A intersection B. Again I repeat, characteristic function of A union B is characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus the characteristic function of A intersection B. Now, if you recollect your third result, it is similar to the principle of inclusion and exclusion. There is cardinality of A union B. Cardinality of A union B is cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus the cardinality of A intersection B. Okay, cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus the cardinality of A intersection B. This is what is the formula for your inclusion and exclusion, and similar formula holds for your characteristic function of A union B. Next is characteristic function of the symmetric difference. Characteristic function of the symmetric difference is characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus 2 times characteristic function of A intersection B. Okay, characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus 2 times characteristic function of A intersection B. 4 results are there. उसमें से 2 हम लोग अभी प्रूव करेगा और 2 तुम लोग प्रूव करेगा. Now I have written 2 and 4 as homework. That means 1 and 3 class में करने हैं. But if you want to change, I am okay with that also. अगर तुमको 1 और 3 होमवर्क करना है, 2 और 4 क्लास में करना है तो भी ठीक है. You just take a look, whatever thing you get it in the idea you get, then tell me कौन सा होमवर्क करना है और कौन सा अभी करना है. I have written 2 and 4 as homework. You can change that if you want. Okay, so no one has any priority. Fine. So we will continue with the same thing. 1 and 3 we will do it in the class. 2 and 4 you will do it as your homework. Okay, 1 and 3 we will do it in the class. 2 and 4 we will do it as your homework. So first क्या prove करना है? Characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. Okay, characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. तो यहाँ पे the way in which the characteristic function is defined, अपने पास दो values आ रहा है. एक 1 है when the element belongs to the set और एक 0 है when the element does not belong to the set. तो यहाँ पे क्या करना पड़ेगा? We will have to consider 2 cases. Okay, और वो दोनों केस में we will have to prove that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. ठीक है, अगेन आई रिपीट, हम लोग को दो केसेस कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा एंड वी विल हैव टू प्रूव दैट द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इज इक्वल टू द राइट हैंड साइड दोनों केस में. और वो दो केस कौन सा होगा? केस 1 विल बी व्हेन द एलिमेंट बिलोंग्स टू द सेट एंड सेकंड केस विल बी व्हेन द एलिमेंट डज नॉट बिलोंग्स टू द सेट. ओके, केस 1 will be when the element will belong to the set and case 2 will be when the element does not belong to the set. So case 1, when X is an element of A complement, when X belongs to A complement, characteristic function of A complement will be 1. Okay, left hand side. I'll write it in the second line. This is what is my left hand side. Characteristic function of A complement is 1. अभी यही मेरे को राइट हैंड साइड के लिए भी करना है. X belongs to A complement. If X is an element of A complement, what can you say about the relation of X and capital A? If X is an element of A complement, what can you say about X and capital A? Will it belong to A or it does not belong to A? If X is an element of A complement, what can you say about X in capital A? Will X be an element of capital A or it will not be an element of capital A? Basic simple question of set theory. If X is an element of A complement, then X will belong to A or X does not belong to A.
Does not.
Does not belong to A. Okay. So we have that X is in A complement. So X. Sorry, X is not in A. If X is not in A, characteristic function will be 0. Right? Characteristic function of A at X will be 0 क्योंकि वो A में belong नहीं करता है. So what is my right hand side? Right hand side is 1 minus characteristic function of A. So it is 1 minus 0, which gives me 1. So I get left hand side is equal to right hand side. That is characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. ये मेरा first case हो गया. When X is an element of A complement. Second case, when X is not an element of A complement. If X is not an element of A complement, your left hand side characteristic function का value will be 0, right? Because X is not an element of A complement. So उसका characteristic function का value will be 0. X is not an element of A complement. That means X is an element of capital A, right? If it does not belong to A complement, it has to belong to A. So if X is an element of A, what can you say about the characteristic function of A? It will be 1. तो मेरा जो right hand side है 1 minus characteristic function of A, that is 1 minus 1, which is 0. So I get, in this case also, left hand side is equals to right hand side. So what we get, characteristic function of A complement is 1 minus characteristic function of A. दोनों केस में लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इक्वल टू राइट हैंड साइड आ रहा है, so that is the proof. Okay, that is the proof. Is this fine? So characteristic function का कोई भी result prove करना है, so we will have to consider different cases. First case when the element belongs to the set, and the second case when the element does not belong to the set. और वो दोनों केस में तुम्हारा लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इक्वल टू राइट हैंड साइड आना चाहिए. If that is the case, then we are through. And again I repeat कि यहाँ पे बोला गया है प्रूव करो, शो दैट. तो शो दैट है, दैट मीन्स वो ट्रू है, खाली वो लिखना कैसा है वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड इफ इट इज चेक वेदर, तो स्टेटमेंट कैन बी फॉल्स आल्सो, जस्ट लाइक नीचे आई स्क्रॉल डाउन. ये भी तुम लोग का होमवर्क के लिए ही है कि चेक दिस इज ट्रू और फॉल्स. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ complement of B with respect to A is characteristic function of A minus characteristic function of B. वो भी तुमको चेक करना है. Again two cases you have to consider. एक belongs to the set, एक does not belong to the set. Okay. Now the third one, characteristic function of A union B is characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus the characteristic function of A intersection B. ये अभी अपने को प्रूव करना है. Characteristic function of A union B is characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus the characteristic function of A intersection B. होमवर्क में जो है कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ ए इंटरसेक्शन बी इज द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन. तो वो भी तुम लोग यहाँ पे उसको रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं, एफ ऑफ ए प्लस एफ बी माइनस एफ ए इंटू एफ बी. वैसा भी आ सकता है क्योंकि कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ ए इंटरसेक्शन बी इज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ ए मल्टीप्लाइड बाय कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ बी. ठीक है. ओके, तो ये प्रूव करने के लिए as we did it in the previous one, two cases, one when it belongs to the set and second when it does not belong to the set. Okay, so first case कैसा भी करो, पहले belongs के लिए करो, पहले does not belong के लिए करो, it is one and the same thing. So we take let X belongs to A union B. Okay, this is what is the Venn diagram of your union. I have used the same diagram what we have used for proving that inclusion exclusion के time पे. So ignore that X minus P, T and Y minus C. They are basically the cardinalities. तो वो पार्ट को इग्नोर करो. Concentrate on the diagram. Okay, X belongs to A union B. ओके, X belongs to A union B. तो मेरा लेफ्ट हैंड साइड क्या है? लेफ्ट हैंड साइड इज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ A union B. तो ये मेरा 1 हो गया क्योंकि इट इज एन एलिमेंट ऑफ A union B. एज पर द डेफिनेशन ये मेरा 1 हो गया. ओके, फाइन. नाउ अभी राइट हैंड साइड के लिए क्या है? व्हेन आई से X belongs to A union B. Okay, when I say X belongs to A union B, this will imply X belongs to the red region blue region or the green region. Okay, X belongs to the red region, green region, and blue region as per the diagram. Okay, this is as per the diagram. Now X belongs to red region. If X belongs to red region, what will this imply? If X belongs to the red region, what will be the characteristic function of A and what will be the characteristic function of B? Tell me. X belongs to the red region, तो मेरा characteristic function of A कितना होगा? Yes, if X belongs to the region from the diagram, what can you say about the characteristic function of A and characteristic function of B? पहले diagram देखो, characteristic का value बताओ. And how is the characteristic function defined? It is 1 if the element belongs to the set, and it is 0 if the element does not belong to the set. So if X belongs to the red region, characteristic function of A कितना होगा?
X minus t.
1 होगा कि 0 होगा? Again I am repeating, don't get confused with that X minus t, t and Y minus t. They are the cardinalities जो मैंने वो डायग्राम में यूज किया था. I was bit lazy तो मैंने वो पुराना डायग्राम यूज किया, तो इसके लिए बोल रहा हूँ x minus t, t और y minus t को इग्नोर करो. Just concentrate on the characteristic function and its definition. So if it belongs to the red region, characteristic function of A क्या होगा? रेड रीजन मतलब क्या है? वो रेड रीजन मतलब क्या है फ्रॉम द डायग्राम? From the diagram, red region is what? It is your part of A, na? To be more precise, it is only A. So element जो खाली elements जो खाली A में है, I get characteristic function of A is 1, B is 0, and A intersection B will also be 0 क्योंकि वो blue part में नहीं है, खाली A में है, तो ये मेरे को मिलेगा. ठीक है? If X belongs to blue region, X belongs to blue region. X belongs to blue region. That means अभी blue region क्या है? ब्लू रीजन क्या है? इंटरसेक्शन बी, राइट? इंटरसेक्शन मतलब वो कॉमन पार्ट हो गया, कॉमन पार्ट हो गया मतलब x belongs to a intersection b. That means x is an element of a as well as x is an element of b. तो a का भी एलिमेंट है तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ a विल बी 1, b का एलिमेंट है तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ b विल बी 1 और इंटरसेक्शन भी 1 होगा, राइट? इंटरसेक्शन भी 1 होगा क्योंकि वो उसमें बिलोंग करता है. x belongs to green region, x belongs to green region. तो characteristic function of x, that is a, b and a intersection b. a, b and a intersection b, ये तीनों का वैल्यूज बताओ क्या होगा अगर वो ग्रीन रीजन में है तो? कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ a कितना होगा?
0,
वेरी गुड. b
1,
वेरी नाइस. और a इंटरसेक्शन b
0.
0. ओके. Okay, so this is what we get. Now the right hand side, what is right hand side? Characteristic function of a plus characteristic function of b minus characteristic function of a intersection b. Now in all the three possibilities which we have listed, that is red region, blue region or green region. Okay, red region, blue region or green region. In all the three possibilities, what will be your right hand side? तीनों पॉसिबिलिटीज का वैल्यूज बेसिकली उसमें सब्स्टिट्यूट करके चेक करो कि राइट हैंड साइड क्या होगा. 0 होगा हमेशा, हमेशा 1 होगा कि 0 भी होगा 1 भी होगा.
One.
Always be 1. So what basically I am getting left hand side is equal to right hand side. Okay, left hand side is equal to right hand side. So this implies in the first case, it implies that characteristic function of A union B is same as characteristic function of A plus characteristic function of B minus characteristic function of A intersection B. ये तो हो गया मेरा first case. Now the second case, when x does not belong to A union B, when x does not belong to A union B, मेरा left hand side तो और simple है. Characteristic function of A union B will be 0, right? Characteristic function of A यूनियन B will be 0 क्योंकि वो A यूनियन B का एलिमेंट ही नहीं है, वो A यूनियन B का एलिमेंट ही नहीं है, तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन विल बी 0. X not an element of A union B. X not an element of A union B. This means X belongs to A union B का complement. Okay, X belongs to A union B का complement. ये कैसे आया? X does not belongs to A union B, so it belongs to A union B का complement. ये तो अपना नॉर्मल सेट थ्योरी का डेफिनेशन से आ गया, राइट? Now if X does not belongs to A union B, can I say that X belongs to A complement intersection with B complement?
Yes.
Right? क्यों?
De Morgan's law.
De Morgan's law. Very good. Now when I say it belongs to A complement intersection with B complement, so can I write X does not belong to A and X does not belong to B? ऐसा लिख सकता हूं मैं? वो A में भी नहीं है और B में भी नहीं है, सॉरी A में भी नहीं है एंड B में भी नहीं है. Can I write like this? Right? If X is an element of A complement intersection B complement, I can very well say that it is not in A as well as it is not in B. Correct? Now if it is not in A, the characteristic function of A will be 0, B will be 0, A और B में नहीं है तो intersection में भी नहीं होगा, तो ये भी 0 हो गया. तो मेरा जो राइट हैंड साइड है, क्या है मेरा राइट हैंड साइड? कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ A प्लस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फंक्शन ऑफ B minus the intersection. This is 0. This implies left hand side is equal to right hand side. And again, by case 1 and case 2, I can very well say that characteristic function of A union B is characteristic function of A plus B minus A intersection B. Is this okay? Is this okay? So this is how you have to consider the different cases. Case 1 when it belongs to the set, case 2 when it does not belong to the set. उसको ऊपर नीचे किया तो भी चलेगा. Case 1 does not belong to the set, case 2 belongs to the set. वैसा किया तो भी it's okay, nothing wrong in it. खाली जो प्रॉपर लिखना है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, कौन सा पहले लिखते हो वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. Okay. Fine. So this completes the topic of functions. I will upload the PDF in the Teams. Okay, just a second. मैं अभी upload कर देता हूँ उसको, so that later on. So you can say we have completed half of unit 3 also. Now we will start with the second part of this unit. Okay, so I have uploaded that. Okay, are you able to see the word file?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we will start with the second part which deals with sequences, recurrence relation and mathematical induction. Okay, second part deals with recurrence relation, sequences and mathematical induction. So first we will discuss about mathematical induction. Okay, there are two rules of induction. We will be doing both of them. First is the one which we will be discussing now. That is, we have to prove that the given statement P of n is true for all n greater than or equals to n naught, where my n naught basically belongs to the set of integers. So what is the method to prove this? We have to prove that P of n is true for all n greater than or equals to n naught, where n naught belongs to the set of integers. So this technique of proof involves 3 steps. Okay, this technique involves 3 steps. First step is we have to prove that the given statement is true for the base point. Your step 1 basically tells it to prove P of n naught is true. P of n naught means the given statement is true for the base point. N naught is nothing but your base point. Okay, base point मतलब तुम्हारा जो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट होता है, वो जो क्वेश्चन में दिया रहेगा n ग्रेटर देन और इक्वल्स टू n नॉट, वो तुम्हारा बेस पॉइंट है. तो the method say involves 3 steps. First step is we have to prove that the given statement is true for the base point. That is P of n naught is true, वो prove करना है. Second, we have to assume P of k is true for some k greater than or equals to n naught. Okay, we have to assume P of k is true for some k greater than or equals to n naught. Means ये second assumption हो गया. फिर first and second step use करके third step को prove करना है. What it says that prove P of k plus 1 is true. मतलब next point के लिए true है वो prove करना है. Okay, so first is the assumption के first is to prove that the statement is true for the base point. Second is your assumption that P of k is true for some k. Third, is again to prove that the statement is true for the next point. Okay, statement is true for the next point. Again I repeat the three steps. First step, we have to prove the statement is true for the base point. Second, we have to assume that it is true for some k where k is greater than or equals to n naught. Third step, using step 1 and step 2, we have to prove that the statement is true for the next point. That is p of k plus 1 is true. So there are three steps involved in the method. Again, this method you would have done in your 11th standard, और मे बी अगर दूसरा कोई बोर्ड का है तो लोअर क्लास में भी किया होगा. Okay, but we will do the sums again. P of n. P of n is the statement which is to be proved. What we have to prove? That the sum of first n natural numbers. All these results what we are discussing, you can remember them as the formula also. ठीक है, as a formula also. So कभी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स दे रहे हो या कभी कैलकुलेशंस जल्दी करना है, तो you can use this formulas and you can directly apply the result to get the answer. Okay, so what does the result tells us? Sum of first n natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, sum of the first n natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 divided by 2. So what is the first step? First step is to prove p of 1 is true. Okay, this is what is the first step, to prove p of 1 is true. p of 1 मतलब n का वैल्यू 1 है. n क्या है? नेचुरल नंबर है. तो यहाँ पे आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली वन नेचुरल नंबर. ओके, हियर आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ओनली वन नेचुरल नंबर. तो फर्स्ट नेचुरल नंबर इज 1. ओके, फर्स्ट नेचुरल नंबर इज 1. सो यहाँ पे मेरा जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड है विल बी 1, क्योंकि मेरे पास एक ही नेचुरल नंबर है, दैट इज 1. ठीक है, मेरे पास एक ही नेचुरल नंबर है, दैट इज 1. और मेरा राइट हैंड साइड क्या होगा? n plus 1 divided by 2. So this also gives me 1. Simplify करेगा तो so I get मेरा left hand side is equal to right hand side. So this implies p of 1 is true. Okay, this implies p of 1 is true. Step 2, assume p of k is true. Assume p of k is true for some k greater than or equals to n naught. That is what is my second step in general. मेरा यहाँ पे n naught कितना है? 1, क्योंकि n belongs to the set of natural numbers ना. तो मेरा n naught is 1. So assume p of k is true for some k greater than or equals to 1. What does it mean? It means that sum of k natural numbers is given by k into k plus 1 divided by 2. ये मेरा सेकेंड स्टेप है जो मैं अज्यूम कर रहा है. थर्ड स्टेप, to prove p of k plus 1 is true. To prove p of k plus 1 is true. Okay, so that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k plus 1 is equals to k plus 1 into k plus 2 divided by 2. ये मेरे को प्रूव करना है, ठीक है, ये मेरे को प्रूव करना है. दिस मच इज क्लियर. मेथड ऑफ इंडक्शन यहां तक ठीक है.
Yes.
Okay, so now for proving this, see generally कहां से स्टार्ट करना है, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से, राइट हैंड साइड से. इट डिपेंड्स कि तुम्हारा सम क्या है, कौन सा एक्सप्रेशन दिया हुआ है और कौन सा एक्सप्रेशन इज इजी टू सिंप्लीफाई. ओके, दैट इज व्हाट ऑन विच योर आंसर डिपेंड्स. तो यहाँ पे सी राइट हैंड साइड को सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए आई हैव सम लिमिटेशंस, क्योंकि मैं वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव प्रॉपर्टी दैट इज ब्रैकेट ओपन करने के अलावा कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते. तो राइट हैंड साइड से स्टार्ट करना इज नॉट अ गुड आइडिया. आई विल स्टार्ट विद द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. Okay, I start with the left hand side. So what is my left hand side? Can you read? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k plus 1. What basically that means? It is sum of k plus 1 natural numbers, correct? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k plus 1 is sum of k plus 1 natural numbers. k plus 1 के पहले वाला natural number क्या होगा?
K.
k plus 1 के पहले वाला natural number क्या होगा?
K.
K. So I can write it as k plus 1. मैंने कुछ भी नया नहीं किया, मैंने खाली एक प्रीवियस नंबर लिखा करके, राइट. ओके, नाउ ये जो 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k है, इसको मैं रेड कलर में लिखता हूं. क्यों? क्योंकि ये जो 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k है, दैट इज नथिंग बट माय स्टेप 2 जो मैंने अज्यूम किया था. What was my step 2? मेरा assumption क्या था? P of k is true for some k greater than or equal to 1. तो क्या था? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k is equal to k into k plus 1 divided by 2. करेक्ट?
Yes, sir.
तो ये वाला जो रेड वाला पार्ट है, उसको मैं यूजिंग स्टेप 2 आई कैन राइट लाइक दिस, that it is k into k plus 1 divided by 2. Correct? You can see on the screen, it is still visible. मेरा जो step 2 है, that is what is my assumption. Right? तो जो रेड वाला पार्ट है 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k, उसको I can write it as k into k plus 1 divided by 2 from step 2 because that is what is my assumption. अभी यहां से मैं k plus 1 को कॉमन ले सकता हूं. अगर k plus 1 को कॉमन लिया तो what remains inside the bracket? k plus 2, sorry, k upon 2 plus 1. k upon 2 plus 1. और अभी मैं सेकेंड ब्रैकेट में एलसीएम लिया, I can write like this and this is nothing but my right hand side. एक तो मेरे को प्रूव करना था, करेक्ट. Therefore by method of induction P of n is true. Therefore, by method of induction, P of n is true. So therefore, we get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus n is equals to n plus 1 divided by 2, where my n belongs to the set of natural numbers. Correct? Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Simple? Okay. So I hope you have written it down, or you have to take the screenshot of this. Screenshot लेने तो बोला, I'll scroll up so you can take the screenshot. लेना है स्क्रीनशॉट कि लिख लिया? ओके, लिख लिया होगा शायद. Okay, next is we will prove that 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square till n square, that is square of the first n natural numbers. Square of the first n natural numbers is given by n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 divided by 6. ठीक है, n 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus n square is n plus 1 2n plus 1 divided by 6. ये प्रूव करना है. तो लेट माय p of n be the given statement जो प्रूव करना है. एंड सी, अगर कुछ भी नहीं दिया हुआ है क्वेश्चन में, लाइक इन दिस केस, then it is assumed कि your base point is 1. ठीक है, अगर कुछ भी नहीं दिया हुआ है लाइक इन दिस केस, तो assume के बेस पॉइंट इज 1. दैट इज द डिफॉल्ट केस. कि जब भी n है तो n नेचुरल नंबर में ही होगा करके, अनलेस एंड अनटिल इट हैज बीन स्पेसिफाइड. अगर वो अलग से स्पेसिफाई किया हुआ है तो इट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. ओके, अलग से स्पेसिफाई किया है तो इट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. अदरवाइज दिस इज व्हाट विल बी द केस कि n तुम्हारा 1 होगा. अगर कुछ भी स्पेसिफाई नहीं किया है तो p of n is given. पहला स्टेप, we have to prove that p of 1 is true. P of 1 is true. Left hand side 1 का स्क्वायर which is 1. P of 1 again I repeat, P of 1 मतलब मेरा n का वैल्यू 1 है. ओके, P of 1 मतलब मेरा n का वैल्यू 1 है, तो 1 का स्क्वायर gives me 1. राइट हैंड साइड का जो एक्सप्रेशन है उसमें n को 1 डालो. राइट हैंड साइड पे जो एक्सप्रेशन है उसमें n को 1 डालो. So I get 1 into 1 plus 1 into 2 plus 1. So that turns out to be 6. 6 divided by 6 gives me 1. Therefore, I get left hand side is equals to right hand side, and this implies P of 1 is true. Okay, this implies P of 1 is true. Second step, assume P of K is true for some K greater than or equals to 1. That is 1 का square plus 2 का square plus 3 का square plus K का square. This is equals to K plus 1 into 2K plus 1 divided by 6. This is what is my assumption. That is nothing but my step 2. Step 3. To prove P of K plus 1 is true. To prove P of K plus 1 is true. तो इसका मीनिंग क्या होगा? क्या प्रूव करना है? 1 का स्क्वायर प्लस 2 का स्क्वायर प्लस 3 का स्क्वायर. K plus 1 का स्क्वायर. This should be equal to K plus 1 K plus 2 times K plus 1 divided by 6. 2 times K plus 1 plus 1 divided by 6. ये मेरे को प्रूव करना है. Right? P of K plus 1 कैसा मिला? It is just वो P of K का जो एक्सप्रेशन है उसमें K की जगह पे K plus 1 लिखो. ठीक है, उसमें K की जगह पे K plus 1 लिखो तो you will get the right hand side. ओके, अभी ये प्रूव करने के लिए अगेन आई विल स्टार्ट विद द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. Similar to what we did it in the previous case, K plus 1 the whole square का previous number, K plus 1 the whole square का previous number will be what? K square. Okay, it will be K square. तो जस्ट लाइक व्हाट वी डिड, ये जो K स्क्वायर वाला टर्म्स है उसको मैं रेड कलर में लिखता हूं so that हम लोग उसको डिस्टिंग्विश कर सकते हैं. आई होप टिल दिस इट्स क्लियर. तो ये जो K स्क्वायर वाला जो रेड टर्म्स का सम है उसको मैं K plus 1 2K plus 1 divided by 6 से रिप्लेस करेगा. That is what is my assumption. And K plus 1 the whole square. ठीक है, and K plus 1 the whole square. अभी ये दोनों टर्म में से I can take K plus 1 as common. K plus 1 को कॉमन लिया तो मेरे पास क्या बचेगा? K times 2K plus 1 divided by 6 plus K plus 1. This is what it remains after taking my k plus 1 as common. Okay, this is what remains after taking k plus 1 as common. अभी मैं सिंप्लीफाई करेगा जो रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट का टर्म है वहां पे मैं एलसीएम लेगा तो व्हाट आई विल गेट k और 2k plus 1 plus 6 times k plus 1 divided by 6. करेक्ट? ये मैंने वो रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट के अंदर का जो टर्म है वहां पे एलसीएम लिया. नाउ दिस इज सेम एज ये बाहर वाला k plus 1 तो मेरा वैसा ही है डिवाइडेड बाय 6 डाल देता हूं. वो जो 6 है वो यहाँ पे ले लिया. अभी रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट में मेरे को सिंप्लीफाई करना है तो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल ओपन द ब्रैकेट्स. आई विल गेट 2k square plus k 6k plus 6 k plus 1 divided by 6 और रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट में क्या मिलेगा 2k square plus 7k plus 6 2k square plus 7k plus 6. Fine till this? ओके, तो अभी मेरे को उसको सिंप्लीफाई करना है. जो रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट वाला टर्म है उसको फैक्टराइज करके मैं कैसा लिख सकता हूं? कैन यू फैक्टराइज दैट रेक्टेंगुलर ब्रैकेट का टर्म 2k square plus 7k plus 6. को फैक्टराइज करके कैसा लिखेगा मैं कि 2k square plus 7k plus 6
k plus 2 and 2k plus 3.
एक मिनट k plus 2 and 2k plus 3. फाइन. तो अभी ये मेरा हो जाएगा k plus 1 k plus 2 and 2k plus 3 divided by 6 and that is nothing but my right hand side. चेक करो राइट हैंड साइड क्या था अपना k plus 1 k plus 2 मल्टीप्लाई विद 2 टाइम्स k plus 1 plus 1. तो ब्रैकेट को सिंप्लीफाई करेगा तो यू गेट द सेम थिंग 2k plus 3 होल डिवाइडेड बाय 6. So this implies, एक मिनट मेरा वर्ड थोड़ा प्रोसेस कर रहा है. इक्वेशंस थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया ना इसमें, इसके लिए. हाँ, so this implies p of k plus 1 is true. p of k plus 1 is true. Therefore, by method of induction, p of n is true. Therefore, by method of induction, Therefore, by method of induction, P of n is true. So we get minute. Therefore, we get 1 का square plus 2 का square plus 3 का square plus n का square is n into n plus 1, 2n plus 1 divided by 6, where n belongs to the set of natural numbers. This is what is the proof. Now we have done two sums. You can take this third sum as your homework and you can ask if you have not understood anything in this method of induction. या पहले का फंक्शंस में भी पूछना है तो पूछो, बिकॉज आज हम लोग ने डाउट्स के लिए टाइम बहुत कम दिया था. So if anyone has any doubts, you can ask. And at the same time, you can write down the third sum which is there for your homework. Written the third sum for homework and tell me if you have any doubt. Today you had less doubts. तो समझा कि ऊपर से गया करके, बिकॉज जब डाउट्स नहीं रहता उसका दो ही इंटरप्रिटेशन या दो ही मीनिंग होता है, या तो इजी था और सब कुछ समझ गया, या तो कुछ भी नहीं समझा करके. तो कौन सा कैटेगरी में है आज हम लोग? टेल मी, यू अंडरस्टूड मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स और यू अंडरस्टूड कि सब कुछ ऊपर से गया बम्पर? यस, इंडक्शन का दोनों सम क्लियर है. मे बी फंक्शन में थोड़ा बहुत नहीं समझा रहेगा क्योंकि थोड़ा हेवी था, बट इंडक्शन का दोनों सम क्लियर है.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Third sum you have taken it as homework. Now fourth sum I think we will start tomorrow. Okay. I'll just okay, because this sum will take time, it will not get over in the stipulated time. Okay, I'll just see how much is remaining. हाँ, good. अभी scroll किया तो. For tomorrow's lecture, you again revise the divisibility का part. What do you mean by A divides B? वो वाला part revise करके रखो, because tomorrow we will do many sums related to the divisibility. सीक्वेंसेस है and recurrence relation. ठीक है. Okay, so for tomorrow you revise the divisibility का part and keep, because that will be required. और वो अगर नहीं है तो sums समझने के लिए difficult हो जाएगा. That is the reason I am telling कि revise the divisibility का part and keep. Okay, so I will end the class.